Let's quickly show you the results that were recorded in week 20 action of the MTN FAS Super League. And when you look at the results right there, Dennis, it actually gets us to past the midway point where teams have now entered the second round. But look at that. Napsa Stars log leaders, new Zesco United with Zlatko Krimpotic getting a win finally.
Yeah, I think second rounds are always tough. Looking at the results, if you see most of the results, I think it's new, 1-1, and maybe a few teams won. So I think it's tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tough indeed. Let's see what week 20 had in terms of an impression on the table of the MTN FAS Super League for 2017. Now, look at that. Napsa Stars, of course, getting their third draw in the last 5 matches. It's almost looking like a trouble situation, but at the best for Real Nakonde, yes. Another defeat for City of Lusaka. The losing seemingly continues. Not too good news, that one, Vespa.
Not too good, of course. Yes, I watched the game in Choma. Yes, they came. They tried to get an early goal, which I think somehow they made a mistake and they allowed the Green Eagles to score them.
Okay, so our match focus for this week, ladies and gentlemen, took us to the Nkoloma Stadium as Red Arrows had a date with Zanaco Football Club. Let's have a look at the selections that were made. So it was Dabi Chilufya, the visiting coach, versus Ona Janza in the absence, of course, of Numba Mamba Wars with the under 17. So 4-1-3-2 for Zanaco, and Red Arrows played generally 4-1-4-1. Patrick Dudengoma leading the line there. And I'm just thinking, this player is an interesting player. He was there at the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations, and now, under Ona Janza again, he looks like he's re-energizing his career, Dennis.
Yeah, I think I've seen the boy play, I think, in about 4 or 5 games. Even the game that we played against Red Arrows. In fact, he's the one who scored. He's the one who got the goal. I think the coach has put in too much confidence in him.
It's not only him, perhaps. It's also Bruce Msakanya in that team. These were the boys that actually took him to the Africa Cup of Nations 2015.
Of course, yes, Zite. If you look at their team, of course, now they are playing as a team. No wonder you could see that he has too much confidence on the ball. He's a player who can dribble. He's a player who can shoot at any angle. No wonder you've seen that he's been scoring of late from the time he was given a chance to play.
Okay, so now let's just study the visitors' attack. That was Zanaco Football Club, how they attacked on that day at Nkoloma Stadium, a game that actually ended 0-0. Now, look at this. A characteristic of Zanaco in this game is that you see the number 12 in orange, Janice Mbewe, coming inside, playing a diamond formation creates such problems that the diamond will either be expanded or shrunk depending on what the opponents are doing. So for Red Arrows, who are playing a 4-1-4-1, those three in the middle were actually orchestrating in the middle and creating play. But when they win the second ball, like in the illustration there with Zilimi Senimoyo, who was the defensive midfielder, Zanaco seemingly had a challenge opening up the pitch, getting with it, and getting the ball into space, Dennis, to probably hit Red Arrows.
I think it's very unlike Zanaco, because the way Zanaco play, they play with 2 wide midfielders. But this game, Ernest was coming inside, and Augustine sometimes would come inside. But for them, when they win the ball transition, they were taking time to open up again.
So now it also actually now brings into perspective the speed at which Zanaco attack, the team that actually plays progressive football. But when such things begin to happen, do you stop playing the diamond, play the ball-shaped 4-4-2, if you want to continue with 4-4-2, that is.
If you've seen Zite, they've been changing their systems from the time I think they've been playing the continental games. If you look at the way they came in the league, they've also tried to change also the system. I don't know if it's because maybe the head coach is not there, then you are in charge also to say I should do. Maybe I'm comfortable with this system, because of late I've seen them changing systems, which I don't know if they are trying to maybe have a lot of people in the midfield so that maybe they can be beefing up the strikers so that maybe they can be getting a lot of goals.
Maybe they were trying to adapt to the opponent, but let's just look at what was happening when ZANACO get to the final third, the advanced ZANACO attack, and it will tell us a story about what kind of day it was at the office. Now, look at what happens in the final third. Zilimise Moyo had the presence and the acumen to hold the ball, move the line up, even when the back line wasn't moving at a commensurate rate. But look at up your screen. It's 1v1, 4v4. Augustine Mlenga versus Jimmy Mulilo Chisenga. You've got Felix Nyeinde versus Charles Ingwa. You've got Bronson Chama there versus Kwame Trump. And you've got Ernest Mbewe versus Joliba there. And this is now a similar tale when players quickly rush into the final third and are not helping in the build-up process, quickly running to that area. Again, is this unlike ZANACO?
I can say it's still unlike ZANACO, because the strength for ZANACO, the wide midfielder gets the ball, he has to take on that. They use speed wingers. As you know, Augustine is speedy, and Ernest as well. But I think for me, it wasn't working. It didn't work according to
plan. Now, yeah. I'm just thinking, the players making, all the four attacking players making themselves target men, that includes Richard Kasonde, who's actually going forward and trying to make himself a target person. So for Zilimise Moyo, once a little bit of pressure is applied on him, he's seemingly choked. He's forced to play long and very quickly.
Yeah, Moyo, if you've seen of late the way he's playing, even the way he was playing with Zesco, he looks like a player who is an attacking defender. He likes all the time to be going with the ball. And maybe sometimes you see him trying to shoot on goal. Maybe he attracts, sometimes you try to attract the midfielders, maybe to try to follow him. I think it's also maybe the system which the coach maybe is comfortable with him, maybe to tell him that maybe you're supposed to be moving with the ball, and when you reach at a certain level you have to pass, or maybe he uses his power to shoot.
I think from what I saw, whenever Moyo had the ball, everyone else was running to go and look for space. Instead, there was no one to go and support.
Immediate support. And once Red Arrows apply a bit of pressure on them,
always
then of course,
they can't place the pass. Yeah. Therefore, immediate turnover. Well, interesting situation. That's ZANACO didn't probably have a very good day at the office. But let's also discuss Red Arrows. It's a game that we saw the owner Janza philosophy probably bearing some fruits giving some serious pointers that the team is going to be bearing some serious fruits not too long from now. Let's look at Red Arrows in attack and just evaluate how that 4-1-4-1 they were playing. Now, here's what happens. Very clever. Actually, perhaps the ZANACO probably even knew that in the game planning. Okay, Red Arrows is going to play 4-3-3, and if they play 4-3-3, they'll probably try to create numerical overloads in the central areas, but that wasn't the case. Just look at where the jersey number 17, Shimbi, and Dude, the center forward, that's Ngoma, where they choose to stand. And if you look at that second area, it now becomes 2v1. Now, in transition with Zanaco defending with a back three, and Chongochiro has gone up already immediately, George Simbayambaya can simply float one long ball high and wide. And for Taonga now, that's an awkward position. Should he stick or twist or risk breaking in any case? Where does he follow Stanley? Does he follow Dude? And Zilimi Senimoyo is actually providing cover where maybe he might argue I'm supposed to be in the central areas, Vespa.
Yeah, very good strikers, especially if you talk of Dude and Shimbi. If you looked at Dude, the way he was going in front with the ball, trying to dribble, he was being supported by Nshimbi. You see, such players, you could see that they are trying maybe to find a way to penetrate and get goals, which is good for the team now. No wonder you've seen they are attacking now. You can say that it's a team which wants to win the game.
I think very clever from Coach Janza there. What he was doing is he was using those the pockets. You know, when because he knows Taonga Wembe likes going forward, same as the other guy from Nchanga, Chongochiro, yeah, they like going forward. So all the time, whenever Arrows won the ball, Dude was opening wide into that pocket which was left either by Taonga or Chongo, and then Ishimbi was always close.
Immediate support.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was very clever.
But now, I'm sure Dabi Chilufya won't be too impressed with that state of affairs, how they're being double teamed in the wide areas. Could it bring a question as to the defensive capabilities of Taonga Wembe as an individual? Because we actually saw deliberately Ona Janza deploying Dudengoma high and wide on the left-hand side of the Arrows attack, where actually Taonga Wembe is actually supposed to be defending from.
I think what Coach Janza did was he planned on the quick break. That's what he planned on, because they like going. There's no one who can run like an aeroplane. Taonga goes, Dude opens wide. Red Arrows wins the ball, they put it just there. And Nshimbi was very quick to go and support.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, anyway, at the end of the day, I'm sure Red Arrows will be pinching themselves. How did they not win? They created a lot of chances. I'm sure Ona Janza will look at that and say, okay, my machine seems to be working in readiness for the second round. What is your overall impression of Red Arrows in this game?
Yeah, creating a lot of chances, especially when you want to win the game, you have to utilize them and make sure you get the goals so that you can win the game. That's the game which I think they could have won, but sometimes you find that players get too much excited that this game, maybe you look at the timing and you say it's better maybe we get out with a point than maybe losing this game. But if you look at the team itself, yes, they are playing good football. But, at the end of the day, results people are waiting for is a win.
Yeah,
of course.
I think this could have been the best Arrows complete performance we've had. They were creating chances. Their defending wasn't too bad. And they didn't win. And I don't know what the supporters will be saying now, that in what we are describing to be one of the best games of the year, they didn't win. They created chances. They didn't score. In other days, they scored.
I've seen massive improvement on Arrows, especially this year. I think maybe they struggled the first 2-3 games, but now I think now they are a team. They know what they are doing. They know what the coach wants, and they are working. It's unfortunate. I was also surprised that they didn't get the result that the supporters wanted.
The win.
Yeah.
Yo. Anyway, I don't know what to do. Talking about reaction, let's now evaluate the reaction on the part of the bankers, the defending champions of the MTN Fast Super League. Let's study ZANACO'S press, especially in the second half. ZANACO began to press. But here's what was happening. Now, because Red Arrows were actually playing out from the back four were exchanging passes and bringing in Simbayambaya, Bruce Sakanya, and Dominic Yobe into play. And of course, Lubinda Mundia was providing immediate cover. And in the last line, you had Dudengoma and Stanley Shimbi actually, of course, double teaming against Taonga Wembia. Something that they had challenges dealing with is that sometimes they manage to press Red Arrows like that, and they would quickly get the ball out of that zone. But what I want us to discuss is, imagine a situation where they press the space like that, and those three players in midfield were actually being found free. What if Red Arrows were actually going to manage to get the ball into that zone and actually go forward? Tactically, what do you think Numba Mamba and Dabi Chulufia will be saying when they look at the overall match play of their team?
Yeah, of course, looking at the way his setup was, if you've seen their wing, especially their number 12, was putting on number 12, he was coming, when they are dropping, he was coming on the midfield, trying maybe to make a something like they've closed the back line, put a lot of people in the midfield. But when they win the ball, for him to go out in the wings, that's where now any breakdown you could see, maybe Dude getting the balls from the midfield, playing a 1-2 with Ishim.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, in a game like this, and especially if you have an opponent that is not defending too deep, you look at the general back four of Red Arrows. You've got Bronson Chama there, Charles Singwa, Joliba, and Jimmy Senga. They're winning a lot of duels, and I'm sure they're mighty confident after that game. But you tend to think ZANACO didn't expose them too many times. Yes, Seth came on. They both had chances after all is said and done, Dennis.
Yeah, I think looking at what ZANACO is doing, because marking you start from up front. So it's first individual and then as a block. But the way they were going, ZANACO, they were going, the three of them, they go and press up. Instead of one up, two cover. Red Arrows had too much room in the midfield, especially the three guys who were dropping to come and get the ball. So I think...
so you prefer they do a man press?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, you do a man press, and you've got Bruce Msakanya, Dominic Yobe, Stanley Shimbi, Mundia. They'll actually turn one of your players, dribble one, and it's a problem.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, of course, what Dennis is saying. If you look at the way ZANACO were coming in the midfield, yes, they could do come back in the midfield, but to do what? Players can come in the midfield. You tell them, okay, you'll be dropping, come in the midfield. Maybe you are there, but he's coming to do what? Is he coming to mark or to disturb? You see, so some of the players would come in the midfield just to be there because I was told to come in the midfield. When you win the ball, then you run in the wings. You see, but how am I running out of, I get the ball and I know how I'm moving with the ball. So the players should know, even when they are told, this system, when you come in the midfield, when we are attacking as a team, you go in the wings. You should know, even when you are running in the wings, that I'm running for me to get the ball, not running away from the ball.
Who do you think will be the happier of the two coaches or benches on the balance of play?
On the balance of play, I think ZANACO were the happier side.
ZANACO happier? Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. They were happy because Red Arrows missed a lot of chances which they could have won that game. So I think they came out smiling, being good defenders.
Well, that was our analysis of ZANACO'S visit to Red Arrows at the Nkoloma Stadium.